Sypario was a really beautiful musical film. It was shown in 15 acts, which I thought was really cool. I liked how each act we saw the sheet music beforehand, and it was a little foreshadowing into the music to come. We could visually see how different each act was just by seeing the sheet music that went with them. I enjoyed the fact that each act was very different, had different music, different outfits, even sometimes different lighting. All the music and visuals in this film were very clear and crisp. The first shot, the first act, the woman is masked, which creates a lot of visual interest for that first shot. And just her movements are so slow and graceful and sensual in some way too. It was really sort of mesmerizing to watch, and I really enjoyed this film a lot. I thought it was really beautiful and just cool to see all these different ways that music could be expressed.
All right, I just finished watching, excuse me, Sypario. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I ended up liking this piece. I thought it was very artistic. It had a very sort of disciplinary feel, given the stage conceit and the musical performance conceit. But I thought that it had an interesting sort of interpretive narrative dynamic that I thought really made it sort of more engaging in a way that you wouldn't necessarily expect, especially since the piece is not necessarily completely based around musical performances, but it does really have a great sense of costume design as well as sort of rhythm and pacing that I thought really contributed to the musical parts as well. I thought it just had a really beautiful cinematic approach to the theater, a lot of interesting shots of them on the stage, then behind them, a lot of perspective shots in terms of height that I thought really created a sort of world-building type of dynamic, and I just ended up enjoying it because it felt like a very sort of experimental take on a classical construct, in which made it I felt interesting, and I liked the musical, the measurement, I don't know the correct phrasing, the musical sheets, the sequences that sort of worked as chapters. I thought that ended up working well as well. So I ended up liking the piece and thought it was well done, not just in a visual sense, but in a musical sense as well, in a way that blended smoothly and made it feel like a narrative idea as opposed to just sort of a sequence of performances. So I thought it was well done.
Sypario was very interesting in the sense that it reminded me a lot of MIDI art. MIDI art being what happens when you essentially draw a picture on a MIDI chart, and then the computer essentially plays what you have created. That's what this felt like, seeing the sheet music and then seeing the performers play it. It was a very fascinating way of... It really did feel like a live version of what the general essence of MIDI art is. So yeah, it was very fascinating.
Sypario. Well, this classical guitarist was an excellent player. Is she a performance artist as well? I'm wondering. She's a reminder of Leona Boyd from the 80s, 90s classical music fame. The gorgeous theater, what a beautiful setting with the stage and the lighting. The sheet music that introduced each little segment was very interesting. Was it her own, or are these pieces from hundreds of years ago when she's demonstrating the little bits that go into an orchestra? We're not sure. It's very curious, though. The Phantom Mask and the masquerade costuming was very effective. Mysterious. I wish she would sort of break out and just play one whole piece, but I understand that maybe she's wanting these segments on purpose to imply that maybe for some this is all they get to perform in a live performance. But just really interesting and quite intriguing.